thank you for coming. Alright, so we're gonna get started, and this is kind of an odd song. I don't know if I got the concept the way I like it, but this is called Liminal Space. Hope you like it. Empty floats above my eyes, broken too far to realize. Wonder why no one else can hear. Position slowly becomes clear. Your nightmares slowly become reality. Visions start to fade away. Sense a stronger deeper to the maze you propagate. Watching at your spine. Simple stage leaves so much up to imagination. Footfalls trickling out of time. Nightmares slowly becoming reality. Visions start to fade away. Sense a stronger so that was liminal space. If you don't know what a liminal space is, that's kind of an odd one. Hard to get down into words, but it's more of a feeling than an actual physical thing, even though the physical thing causes the feeling. It's hard to explain, and that probably made no sense. But thank you for being here, all you guys who tuned in. Thank you for your support. I appreciate you. But I'm just going to get right back in and do another song. This one's called Ambido. It's a bit drab, I will admit. This one is a bit, tad bit heavy. But hey, it's part of life, I guess. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but sometimes.
Thankful for his love.
US, David. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, that one's kind of. Yeah. I have all of my lyrics here because most of these songs I wrote yesterday. Which is, it's a bit early to be performing them, but I really don't care. I just want to play, and I hope you guys can get entertainment out of this, and out of me, and I hope you can appreciate my work as much as I appreciate my work. But this one is a personal favorite of mine. It's called Sonder. Yeah, it's just nice. I think. I hope you think so. But I'll shut up and play it for you so you can decide for yourself. Sorry, I don't have a lot to say about these songs. They're just songs. It's pretty much just all surface meaning, so I can't tell you what to find in this. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate your claps and your thumbs up. I appreciate you being here. Again, I sound like a broken record, but I don't do things like this for me. I do this so you guys have entertainment, maybe. Depending on who you are and what you like, hopefully this is entertaining. I keep spitting on my mic. Hopefully I'm not spraying in your direction. But this is going to be the last song that I play. And then I'm going to do some explanation about the concept of my concept. But this one's a long one. This is like 10 minutes. So hopefully this doesn't put you to sleep. But this is called A Traveler's Lament. Okay. that was A Traveler's Lament. Sorry for those of you who are tuning in now. That was the last song. But now you get to hear me talk about things you probably don't care about. Oh, thank you, Mom. Thank you, Amalia. But yeah, I'm gonna explain what was going on in my head when I wrote some of these songs. So I guess I'll work backwards. But A Traveler's Lament, that song follows the main character in a concept album that I'm working on. And he is known only as the Traveler. It's a lot easier to rhyme than an actual name. Kind of a cop-out on my part, but whatever. But this song is kind of showing the duality of his personality. It's kind of a introduction to our main character. And the first half of the song is very triumphant and kind of a bit cinematic. It kind of reminds me of the Avengers theme. But that was definitely not on purpose. But that kind of shows his brave side, his fearless, unapologetic side. But the second half of the song kind of goes a little darker, and that's where you start to see his cynicism and negativity creep in, which is very apparent as the album progresses. But you see his outward persona that he projects go more inward, and his true self come out through the course of the album, which I thought was an interesting character development. But that's the introduction to that character. I will be hopefully doing more songs from that as I finish them. They're more acoustic guitar songs, but I thought I'd throw this one in here just to kind of beef up my set list. Definitely takes up some time. But going backwards, back to Liminal Space and the weird titled songs that most people don't use these words in their vocabulary. I sure don't in just casual conversation, but this is all part of a project I've been working on called Esoterica, which is basically just taking words from the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows and trying to write kind of a concept album about these different interesting words. Well, they're interesting to me. Hopefully you think so, because there will be an entire album of them. But yeah, my grandma came up with the album title Esoteric, and I thought, well, since I'm using really weird words, why not use a tense of esoteric that no one uses? So Esoterica was born. But let me see. The word that I've actually used most of my vocabulary, and I learned recently that it was not an actual like Merriam-Webster dictionary approved word, was sonder. And I actually was introduced to that word through a Tesseract album, one of my favorites of theirs. But that word means, it's like realizing that each person you see walking down the street, each person watching me perform and talk about my albums right now has a deep and complex life, like each of our own, and that realization that the world is truly a humongous place to house all of these amazing, intelligent people in it. Well, most of us are amazing and intelligent. Well, there are some exceptions, but they are few. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to write a song that reflected the first time that I felt this particular feeling. And the first verse is kind of just a bit of commentary on these people that are very self-centered and only care about themselves, which is a lot of people. And I've succumbed to the same. I try to not, but of course I dip back in there every once in a while. But that's kind of the first verse, and the chorus is just a chorus. It doesn't really have a whole lot of meaning, just a lot of big words in there. But the second verse is kind of that realization that none of us truly can experience this sonder, this feeling, this not emotion, but you know what I'm talking about, I hope. But it's the realization that we as a society may never get there, and a realization that I myself may never get there, as hard as I try. But you may disagree. That's fine. I don't care. It's just my interpretation of something that I know little about. But the whole album is just kind of like that. It's just my interpretation of the word, the way I would use it. So it's kind of a concept album, kind of not, kind of just a collection of songs with the same sort of overarching similarity. But yeah, if you have any questions, you can ask them. But that's it. That's all I got. So unless there are suggestions on what I can do, I will end the stream. Bye, Amelia. Thank you for coming. Alright. Well, this was a lot of fun. I enjoyed playing these songs. I hope you liked them. But yeah, have a great rest of your Sunday afternoon. Make sure to drink water and get sleep if you stayed up too late last night. Take a nap. You're never too old to take a nap. But yeah, thank you for coming. And for the people watching this after the stream is over, thank you for watching it. Thanks for taking the time out of your day. But yeah, that's it from me.